can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Eevee and make it look easy.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. All right, today's video, I'm gonna be talking about Titans number 1 and 2 by Tom Taylor and Nicholas Scott. So I didn't do a video initially when Titans number 1 came out because, well, there was just really a lot of stuff going on, and it just was one of those things that fell by the wayside. And I know for the longest time on the channel, I haven't really done a whole heap of a lot of DC Comics related videos. Occasionally do Batman stuff, and I've been more recently doing Superman stuff, but as far as like everything else goes, it's just kind of been like whenever I see something that catches my eye. This issue was something that did catch my eye, and I just wish I had more time to talk about it. But with issue number 2 in the books already, I actually feel like now's the time to talk about it. In the first issue, and this was kind of one of the big bombshell things that happened in Titans when it was initially announced that Tom Taylor was taking over this book, that there was going to be a major death. One of the core members of the Titans, or really just any of the Titans, because really at this point, they're all kind of core Titans. So it could have been anybody. It could have been Cyborg, it could have been Donna Troy, it could have been Beast Boy or Raven or Starfire or Flash or Nightwing, and it turns out it did actually happen to be the Flash, more specifically, the Wally West version of the Flash. Now, this seemed like such a weird choice to go with, considering all the recent deaths in comics as of late, especially when we learn that Cy Spurrier is going to be relaunching the Flash series, and then Wally West is going to be the star of that run. That is not going to be Barry in those boots running across the Speed Force. It is in fact a return to form with Wally West. So yeah, it seems kind of weird. You're gonna kill Wally West in Titans, and he's got a book coming out not that far from now, within the next month or so. Seemed like an odd choice. And then I started thinking about it when the first issue came out, where it was shown that Wally West was in fact the one who was killed, seemingly shot through the back, straight through his heart. Now, the big deal here was, okay, so if this was Wally, then who did it? And more importantly, how'd they get the drop on him? And what does this mean going forward? And the thing that happened in this issue was the thing that I kind of assumed was going to happen. And it was that this is not, in fact, the present day Wally West. As it turns out, the Wally West that is laying before the Titans, that is very dead right now, is a Wally from the future. But we don't really know exactly how far into the future it is, but however far or recent it is, it has something to do with all of the crazy stuff the Titans are dealing with right now. As we know, the Titans have recently moved their headquarters to Bloodhaven, the literal backyard of Nightwing. And while they have done so, they have kind of reverted back to what is, for the most part, the original lineup of the Teen Titans, with one particular character that is missing that we'll address here in just a moment. Whoever killed Wally in the future, it's someone that Wally is trying to warn them about, and he was trying to go back in time to warn the Titans that something was coming their way. There was some big deal that was going to happen that could spell doom for the entirety of the Titans. And right now, the Titans are the only big superhero team in DC Comics right now. The Justice League is kaput right now. So the Titans are the ones who are Earth's sole protectors. Yeah, of course, there's other people out there, but let's just say for argument's sake, as far as like big super teams, the Titans are it. Exactly what does this mean? Whoever it was that killed Wally West, it's someone who could get close to him. I would say someone that Wally wouldn't even expect trouble from. Whoever it was got close to him, was able to get close enough to him that Wally's guard would be down. And while Nightwing and Donna Troy seem to be of the belief that whenever this happens, maybe it was during the wildfire in Borneo that takes place in issue number 2, which is why they keep Flash on the bench for this particular event, we all know time wants to happen. So even if they averted this instance of Wally West's death, something else is going to happen down the stretch. Now, the reason why I think this is someone who is not necessarily some random supervillain or a new villain that's being introduced, I think this is in fact another Titan. I say this because during issue number 1, we see the Titans reach out to fellow Titan Tempest. Tempest is a character who has long been a staple of the Teen Titans and the Titans as a whole. Someone who I would say is probably one of the pillars of the team, and is their way to have an Atlantean, someone who can manipulate and control water, communicate with marine life. All the things that Aquaman brings to the Justice League is there on the Titans. And when Nightwing and Donna Troy offer Tempest a place on the Titans, he refuses. Not because he doesn't like them, but because he feels like the Titans aren't necessarily as worried about the things that he is worried about, that he cares about the fact that 71% of the world, the realm that he comes from, is being destroyed every day, and he feels like they're only worried about the other 29%. They're only worried about the very small patch of Earth that they protect. They don't care about the same things that he does, hence why he feels there's someone else out there that he can work with, that he's already working with, mind you, by the time that Nightwing and Donna Troy offer him a place on the team. Though he doesn't say it in the first issue, but it's revealed in issue number 2 when we're reintroduced to Brother Blood. Or technically, he's had a bit of a rebranding. He's no longer Brother Blood. He is now Brother Eternity. And the reason why I think that Tempest might just be the one who has done this because, well, for one, Tempest and Wally are pretty damn close. If anyone could get close to Wally and be able to put a bullet in his back, it would technically be Tempest. Now, why would Tempest need a bullet to kill Wally West? He really wouldn't need one. Technically, he doesn't even use guns. But this is one of those situations where I feel like maybe what Tom Taylor is going for here is to do the thing that people won't expect, to have Tempest use a gun to kill Wally West. That way it's not as terribly obvious. And even if it's not Tempest, something tells me Tempest was probably nearby. Now, another character that it could potentially be, if not Tempest, a lot of people seem to think that it was Peacemaker who killed Wally West in the future. And granted, while that seems incredibly unlikely considering that Peacemaker, while he is definitely a character whose stock and cachet has risen over the last, I would say, couple of years or so, 2 or 3 years, especially with his inclusion in films like The Suicide Squad and, of course, getting his own TV show on what used to be HBO Max. Yeah, his popularity has risen, and thus you see him a lot more in comics nowadays. Now, he technically could have done it. It even could have been Peace Wrecker, who is the new character, who is technically like a sidekick to Peacemaker, but I feel like neither one of those two characters could get as close to Wally and shoot him the way that he was shot that would have surprised him so much that he would want to go back in time and warn his buddies. Granted, Peacemaker is going to be a whole problem later down the road, as is Amanda Waller, who has already made it her personal life's mission to wage war on all capes. So maybe that could lend more credence to the Peacemaker or Peace Wrecker theory. I just feel like anyone who can get close enough to Wally to completely negate his super speed, to catch him so off guard, I can't help but feel it's got to be somebody close to him. But anyway, getting back to Brother Blood, now known as Brother Eternity, he's still up to his same old tricks. He's trying to build a movement, a crowd-funded movement, to expand humanity from Earth to other planets, citing that characters like Superman and Starfire and various other characters in the DC Comics universe aren't from Earth. That means there's other worlds out there that could be inhabited, and he wants to take his Church of Eternity out into the stars. And while that has all kinds of ominous undertones, the thing with Brother Eternity is doing is very dangerous, because this actually is real life commentary. The fact that individuals like Kenneth Copeland and Joel Osteen and the late as well as terrible Pat Robertson, I just feel like, yeah, this is a commentary on that. These types of people who come along and offer all these promises that put up this air of being absolutely, totally on your side. And I even like the fact that while the media that Brother Eternity is interacting with are pointing out some of the obvious things, but also trying to sanitize, as even Brother Eternity says himself, the person that he used to be. He is open about the fact that he was a terrible person, because that is a real life commentary. We have literally seen both our religious figures and politicians, as well as celebrities, openly admit to terrible and, in a lot of cases, downright monstrous behavior, and the public at large just kind of goes with it. There's like, oh, well, I mean, they admitted to it, so yeah, who cares? And I guess it's because deep down, Brother Eternity recognizes the same thing in the DC Comics universe as what a lot of these people recognize in real life, that the general public at large is openly aware that they too are capable of terrible things, and it just makes them feel better if they know that other people out there who they aspire to want to be like or be around, if they admit to also not being paragons of virtue, then it makes their terrible behavior seem more okay. And that is what I kind of feel like Brother Eternity is playing on here. It's what he's preying on with all these people who he is hoping are going to donate money to his church to fund their expansion into space. And whatever it is, whatever the Kool-Aid is that he is pushing out there, Tempest is drinking it. Now, one thing I've seen some people say online is that, oh, maybe he's fully aware of what Brother Eternity is, and, you know, considering the fact that as Brother Blood, this guy is literally one of, if not for Deathstroke, the Teen Titans and the Titans arch nemesis supreme. Yeah, maybe he's infiltrating Brother Eternity's Church of Eternity. Maybe he's in on the whole thing. Maybe there's some kind of secret operation going on, but I don't think that's the case, because one of the things that Nightwing brings up over the course of these two issues is that the Titans aren't about keeping secrets. That's the Justice League's deal. So I don't think there's any secret keeping going on here. Nightwing and Donna, they reached out to Tempest. He said no. They moved on. I don't think there's any secrecy here on that front. I feel like the Titans, especially if the Titans are to be set separate from the Justice League, they can't fall into the same tropes and traps that the Justice League often fall prey to, especially with Nightwing at the helm. He's lived with Bruce Wayne almost his entire life. He knows what it's like. He knows what happens when you keep secrets, you know, on such a high magnitude. So I don't think that's the case either. But yeah, I honestly believe Tempest, I think he is 100% drinking the Kool-Aid. And like I said, I stand by my initial statement. While I know some people will probably think I'm crazy for thinking it, I do think he is very likely either A, the person who killed Wally West in the future, or at the very least set Wally West up to be killed, even if it was indirectly, even if it was just him talking to Wally West and someone else coming in the room and killing him. He pretty much set him up to be knocked down. But anyway, that's everything I wanted to talk about here with Titans number 1 and 2. I'm liking this so far. I actually genuinely do enjoy a lot of what Tom Taylor does. While I definitely think that, you know, this series, especially considering that Tom Taylor is so close to the character of Nightwing, you know, having what I feel has been an epic run with the character as of late, I feel like whatever is going on here with the Titans, whatever this involves with, you know, Brother Eternity and Tempest and his turn and everything, I don't think Tempest is going to be the last one. I feel like other characters from the Titans past are going to wind up showing up in this. Whether they're working with Brother Eternity or not is another story altogether. And I think it's safe to say that if Tempest is in lockstep with Brother Eternity, as I believe, Brother Eternity very likely offered him the thing that he knew the Titans couldn't, and that is protection of his 71% of the Earth, or at the very least offering Atlanteans a future somewhere on another world where they could actually have their ocean domain and it not be polluted and destroyed on a daily basis. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, do the YouTube thing, like, share, comment, subscribe, and make sure you tap that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the videos that I put out. We're still making that push towards 100K for 2023, and I can't do it without your help, so make sure you hit that big red button. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and until next time, let me know what you thought about Titans number 1 and 2. Keep it plus ultra and sound off in the comments.